And we're live. Right, it's been a while. Um, I'll get started. So, do some liquid drum and bass. I'll give you a hint of what's going on. So, we're doing just sorting out the piano melody and chords for the moment. Oops. So, this is what it sounds like. Something simple. It's pretty easy. It's nice to listen to on the ears. So realistically, I am probably at 80% like there with this song. It's missing a vocal. I need to sort that out. I need to contact a few people. But other than that, I'll run through it right now for the total vibe. So now you've heard the melody, you'll understand what's going on. So yeah, I'll just let this play. Just turn that down a bit. So yeah, I'll give that a pause. But So there's a few things to note here. So at the moment the piano sounds very generic. I'll just say it's a piano slash organ, and this is currently from a plugin preset from Serum. So I may need to layer some stuff on top of this. So at the moment we have piano running as well as a electric guitar from, I think it's Flex. So we'll listen to this one again, if it lets me play. Yeah, so it's there's your pluck, and then if I include the piano on top of it, so you can hear the layers. It's only subtle, so I don't know what to add yet. I'm not sure what to do. But at the moment, yeah, as I said earlier, we're at a good stage with the song where it just needs finalising. You know, things need to be improved, areas need to be just slightly changed in terms of stereo. Mastering wise, obviously just need to change the volumes of some stuff, but I'm saying that I have already done that previous. I don't know how long I've been on this. I've literally just been on this song for since 4:30. I watched the England game and came back, so probably like 6 hours maybe. So you know, it's good progress, but I think what I'll do for the moment is just, as this is live and it'll go straight out to the YouTube, I'll just show you how the song is layered, how everything works, and what's going on. So yeah. So at the moment, I did show you the intro at the start, which is the you know, the piano, and then after this we have, you know, a layered granulizer to add some ambience. If this works, I'll get this to come on. Take this off solo. So if you can hear that, especially if you're wearing headphones, which is very useful for listening to something like this, what I'm going through. So can you hear the panning left and right of that if you are on headphones? Now it's very useful to note that I'm doing this by automation. So I've gone from, you know, having it slow. So the song started, and then to build up energy, the left and right tremolo is increasing, as well as the volume slowly. So this comes in when the bass hits in. So taking all this out. So that there, it's not actually a useful thing to know, but what I'm doing there is, especially if you're a beginner, it's not useful to know. But if you're, you know, improving and you want to create something other than beats, and you know, when you make a beat, some people struggle to find and make the song, you know, make it wide, make everything work. So especially if you're a beginner, it's not useful. You know, you need to make a song have energy, and to make it have energy you need to fill the empty spaces. So what I'm doing here is filling empty spaces with something which is called a fruity granulizer. This is this here. Very simple. So I've gone from using this in and out. So that there, I've applied it to fruity granulizer, and this here generates random spaces within the actual sample, and you know, it randomizes, and because it's already in F sharp major, which is the key of the song, it just creates space within the source energy. And obviously because the tremolo's coming in, you bring it in. So Okay, so the next part of the song, what we're going through, is the bass. So the bass here is very simple. It is another preset which I stole from Splice. I just want to reiterate that music is very easy. All you need to do is just take a bit of time to understand how to layer, how to structure a song, and then you're go ahead. You don't need to know music theory to understand what's going on. I don't have a degree or anything. I haven't learnt anything. I've just learnt all this through practice. So this here, this bass kicks in. So if you imagine a vocal, I don't know, maybe it's a female vocal. She comes in, it's light, and the bass comes in, and this is where she starts bringing in the energy within her voice. That's what the bass does. And even if you're doing this without a vocal, it's very useful. So this bass sounds on its own. And it's just oscillating in between its phases here. Very simple bass. And then this here, as it comes into the drop, the main synth. What I've done here in the main intro bass bus is I've applied a automation which brings the frequency up. So instead of having a sub bass, it brings it into the bass. So what I'm doing here is removing energy to make the flow of the song constitute together, and make sure that the drop, when it does hit, you know, it hits hard, because this is what people struggle with initially when they're actually working. They struggle to make their drops, I don't know, say if they're doing a trap song or something like that, or as a general beat with an 808, they'll always struggle because they don't manipulate the frequencies. And this is what beginners always, you know, they never understand. So the sub only slightly, so it goes to about 80 hertz. So that's that simple layer there. But I've done this with automation of volume, so it just comes in very slowly. And this synth here is called, well, I call it the drop synth mid. So it's the K bass, so this just repeats on the trigger. Very simple, you know. So that's that. That comes in very slowly, and obviously you have your effects. So I've got here, you know, somatics, just some white noise, a very simple loop from Splice. Again, just like the granulizer, this just fills in space. And on the bus here, this is, I sampled it to the horn, which is what I'll get to in a second. But this is just very wide, lots of compression, you know, so there's no low frequencies that get muddy with the whole mix. That just sits there just to make the song sound, you know, a bit more. So I'll ignore these are just, you know, some stuff that I grabbed off Slice, I didn't like them. And then if you listen to the introduction, you hear the 20s. Listen to these beauties. You know, again, just filling space, adding ambience, you know, just making the song not just about the music, it's about how it feels. You're setting the scene. So after this, I'll pause that. We just have this snare loop that brings into the bass. So this line here, bass comes in. We have that our main synth that comes in with the drop. you know, a few fills here. So we got just something that breaks the mood. Same with visors, comes in. But the main part about this drum loop is the fact that we have layers. So it comes in with the drum loop. Dead simple. Again. So this is another one stolen from Splice, because Splice is probably the best app on the world. Where the kick comes in, they've got the side chain on the basses, the strings, piano, everything that comes in. Yep. So that. And then after this, we have the hats. These are panned slightly left just to make space for the kick. And then we have a snare roll. If you listen closely when it comes in, this snare roll just gradually gets builded just to make the flow of the song. Just the curve. So all together, we have a good introduction. Very simple. All these white noise at the bottom. So we have, you know, white noise that just comes in with an automation here. More white noise. OTT on the master. So this is a master track. Just taking frequencies out so everything flows. And yeah, so from here to the main drop, that's what it sounds like. So again, we'll go into the next part of the song, just like I did before. So the next part of the song is where we have the actual drop. So we have a little break that comes in. This is where, say if it was played in the crowd, this is where the crowd would start to feel the energy. So what's going on here? We have, oh, I didn't explain the layered synth on top. This is the thing that keeps echoing in the background. This is just another thing from Flex. I like Flex. I think it's very underrated. It's just this is a dystopian lead. And back to where the layered leads were. OCT, tone compression 42%, panning it left and right slightly, small amount but quite frequent. That's just setting the tone of the song, setting the theme. That is what the song is. If there is no melody or no vocal, this is what the song is at the moment. This is all we have. This is what's giving the song its theme. So yeah, we're doing pretty well with that. I like it. If someone doesn't like it, they can always let me know, but I think it's doing well. So again, we just have constantly this granularization that comes through, and this is just, if I play it all together, just these three. Just really fast now, setting the scene, same volume, nothing more. That's white. That's our, filling our energy. We have our main main strings, dystopian lead. Oh, I didn't mention that the bass here, so when it came here and cut off, it actually started to clip, so I just took the volume down at the end, and that just made that. So it just cuts it out nicely rather than in a click. And then obviously what we have here is our main lead, so mid synth. So what's going on here? So this is on bus number 3, and I link this to the sidechain drop. So I have 2 sidechains. Some people use Kickstart for sidechaining, they find that easier, but I like to have control, so I either use Fruity Balance, where I can just automate the volume, just to what the kick rate is, how long the kick is. And then on the main drop, I like to use the frequency splitter, so I have control of the lows, control of the mids, control of the highs. So if I need to sidechain to a snare, I can just, I don't need to worry about the lows, I can just sidechain to the highs. It just makes the snare pop. And that's what's going on in the main kicks down here in the bottom right. So what are we doing next? So that just comes in, that's the main drop. And then the same as with the drop here and the bass, we cut out the frequencies. I think that's further down. Yeah, that's here. Drop, band 1 frequency, the frequency's going up. And then, just to be smart about it, we started the bass at 40% of stereo. So what does this mean? So if I go to the drop here, our stereo is if I come to the actual main part of the song, that's gone straight to being around mono. Mono is in the negative, but this is just a nice, it just makes the whole energy go from being really wide to being straight to the centre of your head if you listen to headphones or listening on headphones. So that's what that's doing there. So we're making the bass go from slightly wide and stereo to really less stereo, more mono. And I've just played the rest of the other layers. Well, saying that, I've got that on the wrong. That's my bad. That should be there. This one. You hear the clicking, but that doesn't really mean too much. That kind of adds energy now because we're in it. Some people may not like that, but I think it does. So yeah, that's that point. So we've got our synth mid. It clicks a bit at the start here. So I did the same as what we did with the bass. We just cut it out and then added it back in with just a bit more volume. So this was at 60% volume, then it's at default volume of 78. So it's just slightly louder to make the break pop for the drop. So other than that, there's nothing much going on. We have the same stuff. We have the whole of this. Got our fills. Our birds cut out. We don't need that noise anymore. We changed the scene, changed the energy of the song. And then the next part we have, you hear that? So these basically added energy. It's drum and bass, it's liquid. You've got to have a foghorn in it. I didn't really want it to be too loud because I didn't really think that the bass or the main synth would go with a foghorn, but if you layer them together, it does actually sound pretty good. So if I put these two together, turn all these on, and this one. So they've layered well, and that's just, you know, adding ambience. It's liquid drum and bass, so yeah, that's all it's doing, and there's nothing really much going on here other than that. We just have, you know, a typical. Got these guys, just a siren. What else we got? We've got a clicking talk that just gets a bit louder and louder and louder. Snare roll, same with that just gets louder and louder and louder. It goes from stereo to mono. So overall you got, you know, everything that goes on. If I undo everything. To add that the got a little vocal loop that goes to bus 22, OTT, biggifier, to add some saturation, taking the lows out. What else we got? Maximus to de-ess it, and stereo to just slightly, you know, make it pan at the phase offsets. That's the same with these guys here when the drop comes in. So if I take all that away, you know, it just sounds less. And this is where having a vocal would be extremely useful. But I'm yet to contact people and talk about, you know, singing, or, you know, I don't know whether it needs to be a male or a female, or it could be both, you never know, but I mean, it'd take a lot of work. Alright then, well, the main part of the song is the drop. So previous layers, you got everything. Got a piano, got a main flex lead. The flex lead is just playing the melody of the drop, which is, yeah, you know, simple. I didn't mean to add the bass in there, that's my bad. Saying that, I should delete the bass too, it's not actually in part of it. I won't delete it, I'll put it back. Maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I'm not missing anything, but I'll leave it. So the main drop, we have 4 components to the main synth. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are a white noise layer. We have a low octave, a mid octave, and a +1 octave. So -1, 0, +1. And that's playing on 3 different serum synths of the K bass. You go to the high one. It'll just be playing on this octave. So if you just play these all together, that's the low one. Cut out the lows on the synth on this one. The same with the high, no low ends, just want the high octave sound. Main bass. And then pied resistance. I don't know what the words are, but yeah, we got the main white noise. And this was from a pack from Sam Stone. If you haven't checked his channel out, check him out. He's a great, he produces drum and bass, he produces UK bassline. He's a brilliant young producer, and he released a pack with one called White Noise, You know, he designed these himself. He just said, you get them all for free. So yeah, recommend him if you're gonna try and do anything as similar to this. So that's all those together. And in terms of FX and all that, this all goes into the main drop. And because serum's pretty good, you can always just do most of the effects within the synth itself. I've just added some light saturation. I haven't added too much stuff to it. I've only mixed it 50%. OTT only slightly, just to boost the highs. Everything's there. I made the downward of the compression just a little bit less, so the highs just kick slightly more. We have Fruity Stereo Enhancer, and this is just where how I said it came in with an automation. I haven't got the automation turned on, so if I turn this on there, it's going to go straight into mono. I should do. Am I missing some? Oh, that's the bass. That's just the automation, makes everything kick, so the drops just come in and whack. Everything's just back to where it was. It shouldn't be in stereo. Everything, the bass is everywhere. Everything's come in, kicks come in, everything. So that, yeah, it's not too tough. And then in terms of drums, I did make these myself, just added layers. So we got a snare. It's actually taking there. It gets muddy. If you don't take the lows out, then you're a bit screwed. So that's that layer. You got the volume coming in for that from previous. Huge kick. That's the kick. Side chain to the bass. Just want to know what side chain is. I'll just give a quick demonstration. So we have a now every time the kick hits, you could hear the frequency of everything just dip, and then as the kick ends, so here we have a drum and bass kick. What I've done here is brought the volume up as the kick ends in relation to it. So everything dips, you got a low output. So from what I said earlier, we have a sidechain splitter. So we have low, high, low, mid and high, sorry. And then these guys, they just dip every time the kick happens, so the kick thumps through. So yeah, that's that simple. And then we've got our snares. Snares and claps, sorry, that's my bad. And I said earlier, so we have that frequency of the mids and highs getting sidechained to the snare, because the snare is very, very important when it comes to drum and bass. So this needs to come through, and these all layer to a clap, just slightly lower. Because I mean, I always mix to about -3. I do have a master on at the moment got Maximus on with the Clean Master that I've edited a bit, but that's just to make it sound good on the stream. Not gonna lie. So if I took that off, it's quiet. Turn it back on. It's got more energy. So that's the claps. Got some percussion loop. Simple. Get the kick back in there, and that previous loop. What's this one? Oh yeah, it's a clap. Yeah, it's a percussion, but I pan these left and right. So when people sometimes say, "Oh, you need to lay your claps and stuff," they don't actually say that you need to create a clap that's not just mono. It needs to fill the room. So if you lay your claps, this one's to the right, and you've got two minor ones. Slightly, change the volume of stuff just to make it sound not all together. They've all got different volumes to make it sound good. This one's mono, and then the main track one. Same one. Again, we have a foghorn, crash, a boosh, white noise, sweeper, look at it, they were just pretty well mixed already, those vocals. Yeah, it's not too difficult. So all that together comes into this. Dead easy. If anyone's questioning, what is F sharp major, from the key that I said earlier. So if I just quickly go into, so the piano roll here, a sharp major relies on mainly the black keys, except for F and I believe C. So F and C are the main white keys, and everything else resides on the black keys. So basically, just if you don't know chords, keys, just Google F sharp major piano scale or something like that. Just I don't know, C minor piano scale, and it'll come up with everything that key relates to, and you can just create chords by dotting them. And layer them, make sure it's just not one note. So you have your main chord that comes in, bass. This is just liquid drum and bass anyway. So you have your main chord, bass comes in with the nice liquid drums, main drop. I mean, some people just stay here and just keep repeating this. But that's when they have a very strong vocal. But I haven't found the vocal yet. I don't know if I will. So if I don't, then I'm probably going to add an ARP or something to create a melody or something, or just vocal chops and shit. Excuse my language, but yeah, it will take a long time to find that. So it's a niche, but this is just showing how simple drum and bass is to produce. There's nothing too much going on, especially in this song anyhow. In terms of the rest of it, it's just repeated it. You copy and paste all this, whack it next, And to make it just sound slightly different, you add just adding the low synth. And then when the bass comes in, oh no, I don't want to do that. So the bass comes in, you know, there's high synth and then the main bass. So instead of having another one, dead easy, just creating layers, adding energy, changing up slightly. In terms of the rest of the song, birds back, everything's the same. You can tell just by looking at this, it's just copy and pasted. That's about it. And then the second drop is the same thing. And this is the question of what to do next, because if I look at the song time, I'm at 150-ish I'll be finishing on, so 155 after everything's echoed out. Maybe 160. So we're at two and a bit minutes. So I could do another drop, and this is where vocalists come in, songwriters. Well, I could write the song myself, but what would you do? Because you're creating a third drop, you'd have to change it up. So I think the only way to do that with this sort of song is maybe changing the melody of the synths. So, you know, it could go from something like, wait, it's going from oh damn, why is that muted? So this is going from A sharp to G sharp. A sharp, G sharp, D sharp, C sharp, F sharp, finishing on the root notes. So for finish on the root note there, maybe music theory tell you, you know, maybe you start on the root note, so we could do that on the next one. So I suppose we could write something here quick. I'll probably stay on live for another minute or so. Just wanted to show what's going on. I'm not sure if anyone rocked up. I haven't actually checked my phone or anything to see or the computer. But yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take that. Don't get glitchy on me now. I'll take this here. And we can make this one unique. Let's try and make it sound different. Let's see what goes on. Oh shit, yeah. So this is starting on what, A sharp, so we could sounds right already in my book. I think that's pretty decent. And that's how simple this music is. Could go do is change the root notes of the piano. So instead of that chord progression, we just change the chord progression over them. And then drop it for the third time, and that would maybe add another minute. And that is pretty damn simple, isn't it? Add the layers. So this was I forgot the chord progression. Excuse me, I'm very slow. It's 1:23 a.m. So this is going F sharp, A sharp. Sheesh. Okay, I should remember that. I think I'd probably leave it there, but I think this is where the song is going. So at the moment we're about 1:57. Wait a second. I may be wrong here. I got the wrong thing. We're in seconds now. Okay, it doesn't need that drop, but either way, that's just showing you guys how simple you can make a second drop and how easy it is to make a melody. Just stick to the root notes of the key. Maybe start and end in the main, which is F sharp in this case. So I ended in F sharp in the main drop here, but for the third drop I've started in F sharp. So yeah, alright, I'll probably call it there. So thanks for watching, if you do watch, and I hope you did learn something.